welcome to me sharing this. Where's the little share button every time? Do you think this should be my 2022? Because you can't type in. I can't just type in. It doesn't come up, so I have to put all the way Lauren.
What you need to do is you need to send yourself an email on there, and then you've got it.
books@gmail.com. Go. So if you're watching this on, you're getting it there. Christmassy background enough. If you're watching this on catch up, then this is the first. Oh, shush. Then this is what you'll see. It's about to get a lot more professional. Don't worry, guys.
Apologies if you own one, but Alexa, turn on big lamp.
Oh.
That's a bit better.
Everyone's big lamps going on now. Oh, that is better, isn't it, David?
That's better.
Right, here we go. We're going live now, so I've shared it now.
Lauren got me a Pepsi. Oh, I'll wait until there's a couple of people on and tell them.
There we go. Right, okay. So it's just one person. It's me and you. And as people arrive, David, I just have to take a little register. So you might have to do a lot of the entertaining tonight, like Mick and Pam.
Yeah.
What does Mick do? He does the drinks and the entertaining.
She does the drinks.
Yeah.
And he does the welcoming.
Right. And what are we doing now?
So you're gonna have to take the register, and I'll have to do the
welcoming.
welcoming.
Hey, Helen's Bookhaven. Hello, Merry Christmas, Helen's Bookhaven. David, you know what you're allowed? You're not allowed to just stare at that all night, are you?
No, I'll try my best not to. I will give myself a couple of minutes.
Homegrown education. Hey, Merry Christmas. Welcome, everybody. I'll have an Archer's and lemonade, please. Can you do an Archer's and lemonade, David?
I'll see what I can do.
Hi, Louise. Have you managed to get it working on the old phone? I saw that you'd asked on the Patreon feed. Is it up and running? Sarah Barber's here. Hi, Sarah Barber. Nice to see you. Merry Christmas. David Santa Claus, I'm his reindeer. Sarah Flynn's here as well. Double Sarah action back to back. I said to David when he put that, I thought that Santa hat looked so soft, and I said,
"It is a lovely hat."
Is there
the
another
whole
one of them?
Father Christmas outfit that I own is lovely. It's a bit too warm to wear it.
Sarah Flynn has just said, hi Sheetal. Sarah Flynn has just said that she's got a plethora, David, a plethora of
AKA shitloads
of Ferrero Rochers.
Very nice.
I love her. I love a Ferrero Rocher. Melanie, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, Lauren and David. Merry Christmas to you,
Merry
Melanie.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Book Connoisseur, which I absolutely love the name of that. Book Connoisseur. That is, I love saying it as well. And I love writing it. Merry Christmas. Oh, Louise is using her laptop. Well done, Louise. Leanne, hey. She is literally reading the last few pages now. Oh, well done. That is going to be fresh for you, Leanne, isn't it?
So fresh.
Hey, Rebecca. Merry Christmas to you as well. Is everybody feeling Christmassy? Should we put some background Christmassy music on? Like, not really loud, but like that instrumental stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Sorry if you've got an Alexa. Alexa, play Christmas instrumental music.
Christmas instrumental music from Spotify.
I mean, if you do have one, then you could all listen to the same thing as we're doing.
Gemma, hi.
Alexa, volume down.
Yeah. Do let us know if that's interfering, because we'll turn it off. It's just in the background. Hello, Jane. Merry Christmas. Who have we got here? Sarah Deacon, Merry Christmas. Good evening to you.
Oh, I'm jealous of everybody's snackage, but if we sit here eating, then it's not fun for anyone.
No, but we could maybe have a little chocolate. Do you want to get one portion of the train? Annika, welcome. Hello and Merry Christmas. Baking some cookies and making tea to have with the book chat. Perfect.
Oh, I'll tell you what, let's do that. Then we've got 2 each then.
What's that?
I mean, this
Charlie Brooke. Oh.
Oh, 3 each.
That's not much variety though, David, all the same.
That's what, but we like these.
Hi and Merry Christmas, just grabbing a quick cuppa. Well done. David's made, do you want to tell him what you've got there?
I do. So Lauren, in my advent calendar gift, got me SodaStream Pepsi Max flavoured syrup. Now you have bought me a Coca-Cola syrup in the past, not a Coca-Cola one, but a Cola one, and it was rank.
No, I didn't. I've never bought you one before. The only one I've ever bought you... My face. The only one I've ever bought you was
You
an
bought me a
orange
Coke
one.
one?
No, I've never seen a Coke one in the shop, ever. That's the only time I've ever seen one in the shop.
Somebody bought me one then.
Oh, well, it wasn't me.
Oh,
I bought
okay.
you the orange one, and then we went to your mum and dad's house.
And they had it.
And your mum and dad were like, oh, thank you so much for getting
had
us
it, didn't they?
this. And I hadn't bought it for him. And it must have been early days, because let me tell you, nowadays I would not let that fly.
Well, I had a Coke syrup, and it was disgusting.
Oh, dear.
And then so Lauren, I was actually there when Lauren bought me the Pepsi Max syrup.
I thought you'd have
In,
forgotten, because you
Lakeland.
always forget everything, but you didn't forget this
I
time.
didn't forget that one. And so I've just made myself a little batch. And it's exactly like...
Can I have a little bit? I can't have too much, because Lord
Yeah.
knows I'm on the bloody
Yeah, you don't need
mental edge anyway.
It tastes exactly like Pepsi. And I like it a lot.
Oh, God, it does. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit, maybe like it's got a little bit too much syrup in there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Well, that's because somebody took a portion of water
That was
out.
me, yeah.
But it's
Nadina,
very good.
I've taken your name down. Annika says, I love last month's book club and
these
excited for tonight. We
I'm
are
going to have to
excited
get some
as
more
well.
in a minute. These aren't going to last
You
long.
can't chomp all the way, and those rappers can't go all the way. Sky,
I'm trying
hello,
to eat
Merry
them all now.
Christmas. Claire, Merry Christmas. Susanna, Merry Christmas. Laura Bentley, Merry Christmas. Jamie in Bookland, Merry Christmas. Where's Minnie going?
I don't know where she's gone.
She's
but
been so naughty. You've seen the picture of our tree.
You can just see the blanket there.
Yeah, you can.
Because Minnie's a pain in the bum.
All about the all about the Kayla, all about the page, Michaela. Hello, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Emily says, "Hi friends, Merry Christmas. I've got my cup of tea and a plate of cookies at the ready." Oh, David, I bet you wish you had a plate.
Do you know
of
what?
cookies.
I keep forgetting to buy Christmas cookies.
Yeah, we were in a supermarket today as well.
I know. I need to get some.
Merry Christmas.
But I want
your
ones
gorgeous
in like
pair.
the shape of Christmas trees and like iced like Christmas trees.
Katie, Merry Christmas. Well, we could have bought those and done them ourselves. I did some similar when I was doing them with
Oh
my
no,
niece.
I'm terrible at decorating. I want ones that actually look good.
Oh, okay. Where are you going to get those from? Your
I don't
local
know.
biscuiteer. Very nice. I can hear her making noises, but I don't know where she is.
She's out there probably looking at all the
Cheeky.
presents that I've got to wrap up tonight.
Yeah, we've got some wrapping planned. So how is everybody? Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Christmas party. The actual book club doesn't start until 7, so we did the old let's do a little
Can we talk about Strictly?
Yeah.
If anybody
we
watched
watched
it.
Strictly last night in the UK. That's what is it in America? Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
And spoilers, so close your ears now.
Just-
Rose
well,
won.
I was going to say, did anybody see it?
Oh, okay. But we were very, very excited. Very, very excited. It was a lovely final, wasn't it? Especially seeing as I was dying on the sofa with period pain for the first.
Exactly.
For the first
You
bit.
didn't have any liquid left, didn't you? Blood, sweat, and tears.
You got a fan here. So happy to see you here. My husband is a big fan of you. He asked if we could watch the weekly vlog to see how you were.
Well,
How
I'm
were you?
all right. I'm
He's
all
all
right.
right. Katie said she cried so much. Laura said... Laura said, so please Rose won. First year the final made me cry. Jude says, hi guys. Hi Jude.
Hi.
I was in bits, wasn't I, David, in the final?
Oh my God, you didn't have any tears left to give.
Isn't there a Ariana Grande song called No Tears Left to Cry?
I don't
By
know.
the end, guys, literally no tears left to cry,
No,
nothing.
it's just a wonderful, lovely final. It's just...
I did a sweep and came second with John. I'd never got that far with my own sweep, and I've ran it for about 10 years. Somebody I was talking to at work said that they got AJ in the sweep. That'd be sad, wouldn't it? You've so far, near yet so far.
I don't think she would have won.
Charlotte Wollaston is here. Hello, Charlotte Wollaston. Good evening.
I still think Rose would have won.
Oh,
regardless.
Louise is eating a Chinese. Nice.
Ooh.
Sarah said I cried the whole way through. It was amazing. Anne Shuring. Hi, Anne. By the way, if any of you guys are... and your name's just reminded me. If any of you guys are my $10 Patreons, have you received your postcard? Because normally, not that I'm telling anybody off, but normally someone said, oh, I've had my postcard, thank you so much, but I haven't heard from anyone. So I'm really hoping, particularly the Europe one, so particularly you, Anne, that people have been getting their postcards, because the Europe ones I had to give to a woman in the queue because I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, yeah. Risky.
Jessica said, hi, I don't know how much I'll be able to participate tonight as I'm I'm in an online panto. Amazing.
No way. That's cool.
David, I often think you should get into some amateur dramatics. You'd love it.
I know. I don't. I think if I could just do a one-man show and enjoy it, but I think there'd be people that think they're on Broadway, but they're not, and I don't think I'd enjoy that.
Dana says, I forgot to get the booking time, sadly, but I will chat for a bit until my pancakes are ready. Are you feeling better, Lauren? Yeah, I am. I'll bore everybody with that a bit later on. But yeah, I'm in much better spirits today, aren't I? Apart from that big cry I had on the sofa earlier. But we'll talk about that later. Let's have a look. Nicola says, Merry almost Christmas. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the COVID stuff. Nicola, girl, same. So it's so nice to be here with you lovely people. It really is, isn't it? And I look forward to this every month. Kayla says, are Rose and Giovanni in love yet? I don't think they're in love. I think they're very much in a deep friendship. I think this is probably one of the first genuine connections Giovanni's ever had with someone in his life.
Ever had.
That's quite niche, isn't it? Us talking about Giovanni. Sky says, I'm so happy we have book club tonight. My husband left for work trip 8 weeks today. So I'm feeling very emotional. And to top it off, my brother who I saw on Friday has tested positive for COVID today. Oh, Sky, I'm so sorry. Jessica said, I know it's super early to say, but I don't know if I'll be on when we do the rating. So please put me down as a 4.5 star. Okay. Nobody else give me your rating yet. But I'm just taking...
Nobody.
I'm just
taking be put
Jessica's
on the naughty
now. Rebecca says, I feel you, Nicola. I'm in Maine and we are not a hotspot. Oh, we are now a hotspot. So that's about COVID. Laura Ann Curtis. Hi, everyone. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Merry Christmas. Kayla says, I'm sat with aloe vera face mask on. I'm suffering from poorly skin and feeling a bit blah. I think it's stress. So many people at work have the dreaded C word and have been panicking.
God.
I have got my skin. I was thinking of this about my skin today. My skin obviously doesn't react well to stress or illness because I've got a couple of big old bruises on there. Phew! And did get my postcard. And yours and the other European ones were the ones I was most concerned about because I'd given them to a woman in the post office queue. So I'm very, very pleased.
But that woman done a very good deed.
She said, "If you trust me," I said, "I completely trust you," but it was just such a I didn't know what to do really. So yeah. Jude has also got their postcard, thank you. Super lovely message and has pride of place on the mantle. Oh, lovely. Nikki Miller, Merry Christmas and welcome. Laura said, I'm totally in love with your antlers, Lauren. David got me these for me in my advent calendar. Maybe not even last year, maybe the year before. Very cute, aren't they? Jessica said the people who think they're on Broadway are hilarious for the rest of us, though, who are just there to enjoy it.
Yeah, I bet.
There we go.
I bet.
And Kaylee's giving Sky massive hugs and Iona says, hello, Merry Christmas. Hello, Iona, Merry Christmas. Katie said, I ended up having to get 2 copies of the book this month as I bought the physical copy and then left it in my boyfriend's bag, so I finished with the audio book this weekend. Oh, wow. Ooh. Double whammy. And Sarah said, I managed to get my booster yesterday, but I had to queue for 3 hours. Worth it, though. So, so David was booked in to have his booster on the 28th. But surgery local to us... said was doing walk-ins. So we were hoping that you'd be able to go today. Then obviously we didn't know if we had COVID or not. So we had our PCRs and we were waiting. And then the clinic was only running between 10 and 1. So it was very time sensitive.
And then about 11:45,
Quarter to 12 we got a text saying we didn't have it.
I was in the bath.
He was scrabbling around trying to get out of the bath. Anyway, walked to the I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but literally there was no one at the booster.
No.
Although in the UK they've done 950,000 boosters today, I think, which is unbelievable. Like, that number, that's like nearly 1 million people went for their booster on a Sunday. Like, that's good. Madness. So David and my sister got their booster today, so I'm so happy about that. And I'm so pleased that you got yours as well, Sarah. Emily says, no postcard here in the US, but I'm sure it's making its way. Mail is just a bit delayed everywhere. It took about 4 weeks for a small package from Germany to get to me. Yeah, so I sent the US ones. So the Australia ones I sent like on the 2nd of December, I think. Yeah. And the US ones went on the 4th because I remember I did the Australia ones and then posted them the next day. Then I did the US ones and posted them.
What did I send?
I think it was the No, I think I might even have done Australia and US together. Anyway, all the Australia ones and the US ones went really, really early. So I hope they all got to yours. Kayla says that jumper looks incredible. I will show it off to you. This is the jumper. I think it went on my vlog, yeah. This is from a... I really like it because it feels sort of like very... Don't you think I look like an American mom?
Yeah.
With like it tucked into my jeans with this big thing.
You look like you could be Mrs. Goldberg from the Goldbergs.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of.
I can't remember her first name.
This is from a vintage shop in Folkestone called Bounce. And I saw it in there when I did my... my pottery class. It says Christmas on the Green and then Downtown Pica, which I think is in Ohio. I googled it and it says it's in Ohio. And I loved it then. And I was concerned about the size. I thought, because it's an XL and vintage stuff always comes up really small, I was like, that's not going to fit me. And I've just got no sort of like knowledge of what's going on. When I see things on a hanger, I think, oh yeah, that'll fit me, and it never does, or oh, that will no way fit me, and it does. And that's the relationship I have with it. And then when I went back to pick up my pottery, I went with my mum and I said, oh, let's just pop in here and see if this jumper's still there. And it was there. And then I went to pay for it. It was £15 on my card. And she said, my till's just gone down. Do you mind waiting? And we waited for quite some time. And I was like, Mum, have you got 15 quid? And she said, yeah, I have. And I said, all right, I'll transfer it to you. She said, no, I'll treat you. Which, let me tell you, never happens.
Never happened.
So you have to do it.
That's...
So yeah, so I really like it. And do you know what? For a sort of vintage jumper that looks, I mean, it looks old, doesn't it? But feel the inside, David.
Again.
Have you felt the inside already?
Yeah. This is about the 6th time I've heard this whole story.
I'm going mad. So yeah, so I've had it all on today and I feel lovely in it. Let's have a look.
I'll have to take this off, I'm getting hot.
Oh, okay. Christmas is over.
That didn't last long,
right,
did
we'll
it?
just wrap up these last comments, then we'll get started on book club because we're 4 minutes late, guys, although I'm sure you don't mind. Booked to have my booster on Thursday. Oh, Helen, I hope it goes well. I had mine on Friday evening and my arm is still very sore. Oh, how is your arm, by the way?
It's a tiny bit sore, but
I had mine
it.
done, so I had my booster in October and I had my flu jab done at the same time and they did one in each arm. I felt like when I went to bed that night, I was like, where am I going to go?
So I sleep on my... So I'm left-handed, but I sleep on my right side. So... And nobody writes anymore, do they? Well, I definitely don't.
I've just done
you're writing, yeah.
lots
So I
of
take that
pages
back.
of
I
notes.
don't do any writing anymore, so... Get it in my
Betsy's
left
glad
arm.
to hear everyone's getting boosted. And Kayla says, I look like I should be in Gilmore Girls. Dana said, American mum outfit. You need some sunglasses perched on your head to complete that vibe. Yeah, now I can't see without glasses. I do miss having a pair of sunglasses on my head.
Oh, that's why I consider... Because I can't do contact lenses, but that's why I'm considering maybe laser eye surgery.
Just so you can wear sunglasses.
Oh, yeah, one of the main reasons, yeah.
Emily said we got boosted last week. It walloped me with side effects a bit more than the 2 previous shots, but it sure does give me an added peace of mind. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
well,
we're sort of...
Because when I said to the doctor, or the person giving me the jabs, like, he said, did you have any side effects on the last 2? I said no. He said, well, you probably won't get anything on this one.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to...
Same for me. Hi, Christina. Thanks for loving my jumper. Jane was boosted today. You're one of the 950,000 that were done today then. Laura said prescription sunglasses are a game changer. Yeah, that's what I've got, but if I take them off, I can't see what's going on.
No, and like in the summer, if I go out with them, and if I'm out with my chums, and then if it turns into an all-nighter, well, not all-nighter, if it turns into, if I'm still out when it's dark, I have to take my other glasses.
Yeah, that's hard, isn't it?
That is hard. Because what if I get damaged?
Nicholas says my arm was... Yeah, at one point, like, those glasses were the most expensive things I owned. He said, take them around with me. I was like, these are the most expensive things I own. Nicholas said, oh, my arm was awful after the booster this Tuesday. Worth it, though, absolutely.
Definitely worth it.
Okay, so welcome, everybody. There's 38 of us. Merry Christmas to everybody, to each and every one of you, and welcome to...
Me.
Oh, he's putting his hat back.
Merry
Is that
Christmas.
just to say Merry Christmas and then take it off again?
Every time I have to say Merry Christmas,
Oh, look,
I put it
perfect
on.
timing, because Leanne's just finished. So, yeah, welcome to Christmas Patreon Book Club. I keep getting mixed up between Cozy Reader Night and Patreon Book Club. Okay. Welcome to Christmas Cozy Patreon Book Club. Cozy Patreon. I mean, it is quite cozy. I'm cozy in my new jumper.
Pretty cozy.
So yeah, I'm going to go through. So if you're new here, say hi. If you're new and this is your first Patreon book club, if you've joined for the Christmas book club, it's lovely to have you. Just say hi so we can all welcome you. I mean, if you don't want to say hi, you don't have to say hi, but we'd love to be able to welcome you.
Hi.
And at the beginning of every single book club, I always go through how it runs anyway. So even if you're slightly new here and you're like, how does that go again? I'm going to run it through it for you again.
That's me.
So, yeah, because David is slightly new every year because he only joins in for 1 month every year. So how it works is that we start with, so today we're going to be talking about Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson, which is our Christmas Patreon book club. It's a Christmas book. The genre for December was Christmas. And we picked this out of between this and the Christmas carols and this one. So we're going to start with general thoughts. So I'll give my general thoughts. David will give his general thoughts. Then we'll hear your general thoughts. Then we move on to 3 questions. And whenever I'm doing the general thoughts or the questions, I always leave time for you guys to answer. And I read out every single comment that comes up in the comments. So if you're watching on a phone or if you're not able to sort of like keep up with the comments, because it does go fast, doesn't it? I'll be reading everything out. We've also got, so normally in a normal non-Christmas book club, we would have 3 sort of like questions about the structure of the novel or something that happens, and things like that. So we've got 2 of those, and then we've got a Christmassy question at the end, because I think that's nice, isn't it? And you wanted a Christmassy question. And it's as much David's Christmas book club as it is mine. We didn't even mention your Christmas jumper. It's got a little polar bear on it.
Yeah, but I think this guy's made an appearance on a few videos, so that's okay.
Lovely. I'll stop you there, because we're going to carry on with the book club plans, and then we can talk about your jumper a bit more, because I love you so much.
No, we don't need to. No, that was it. Done. Underlined.
Then we're going to have open discussion at the end, and something that we've tagged on to the open discussions. If you joined last year for the Christmas book club and haven't been back since, on open discussion now, we also talk about whether or not we would recommend it to someone, which I think is quite a good question, because if you enjoyed a book, you might not necessarily know anyone to recommend it to, or if you didn't enjoy a book, you might know someone that would really like it. So I really like that question. Then we move on to star rating, which is out of 5, and then we talk about next month when we will be reading Crimson. So my copy of this book by Niviaq Cornelissen is called Crimson, but there is another, so it's also got another title, I think in Europe. I think the UK title is Crimson. I'm not sure what the US title is, but no, I'm not sure whether it's Crimson, but the other title that this book goes by is One Night in Nuuk. Nuuk is spelled N-U-U-K, and that's the capital of Greenland. And this is by Niviaq Cornelissen, and we will be discussing this on the live show on the 30th of January at 7 p.m. GMT. And the genre for this was book set in cold climates. David, I'm so excited to read this. Do you know why?
Why?
This book is translated from Greenlandic.
Oh.
So the language that they speak in Greenland. So I'm so excited.
Well, there you go. I didn't realise they had their own language.
David, nor did I. So it was originally translated, so the author herself translated it from Greenlandic into Danish, and then it's been translated from Danish into English. So
cool.
Can't wait to read that. So yeah, that is in for the 30th of January, 7 p.m. And then we're going to talk a little bit about genres and themes for 2022. If people are planning on sticking around, or if you're not, you can still give us a genre or a theme you might like. And we're also going to have a look at whereabouts everything ended up on.
Oh, what, for the year?
The league table for this year. So we'll wait until we've got Stay Another Day on there, and then I'll give you the league table for the year. Let me put that on there because I'll forget about it otherwise.
Well, that is exciting.
League table for the year. And then I guess the last thing I just wanted to say was about this book before we get chatting about it, is that I know there's some trigger warnings in here for some sensitive topics or things that might be triggering for other people. So those things include divorce, eating disorders, and suicidal thoughts. There are no questions that are specifically related to those things, but if those things do come up, then know that this is a safe space, and if you need to leave while that's going on, or if you'd like to comment something, this is a safe space. You can say and be safe here with everything you say. But like I said, there's no questions that are directly relating to those things that I would consider triggers. So let's just have a look what's been going on while I've been saying. I think there's a few newbies here. Charlie says, hi, I'm a newbie. Charlie,
hi,
welcome
Charlie.
and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
What a lovely time to join. And so many people being so lovely and greeting Charlie. We've also got Chocky Cake. That reminds me, my niece always says chocky cake, doesn't she? Chock.
Chock.
Need chock. Hi, Sally. Welcome. And yeah, lots of people welcoming Charlie. Lovely. And I got this excited by how small it is. Oh, Crimson. Yeah, it's quite small, isn't it?
It is a small
so yeah, so I guess we'll start with general thoughts. So shall I start with my general thoughts, or do you want to start with your general thoughts? So we're not going to hold this up the whole time. Mainly,
Do you want to hold it up for a little bit?
No, I think everyone knows what it looks like, don't they?
Just a little bit more.
There we go.
That's
Pop
enough.
it down.
That's
Pop
enough.
it
There
down.
we go.
So my general thoughts are that I liked it. I liked the sort of sibling returning home for Christmas setup. I liked hearing their traditions. More on that later, guys. I liked the sort of gossipy feel of it. Like, it felt like that's what I knew you would like as well.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a gossip.
And I liked
queen.
hearing about different events from different siblings, and there's more on that later too. I also enjoyed the way that the siblings spoke to each other. It felt really real, like they were actually having a chat, rather than sometimes I read conversations between people, like between siblings, and I think, well, people don't like siblings don't talk to each other like that. Like me and my sister have got our own language basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And I predicted quite a lot of the old dramas that happened. There's a question on that later. And yeah, I quite enjoyed the happy ending of it. I think because it was a Christmassy book, I quite appreciated the happy ending. So those are my general thoughts. What are your general thoughts on it, David?
Mine are very much along the similar ilk as yours. Yeah, like, because I have 2 older sisters, I very much feel like you do kind of have your own little, not like, because I'm definitely not as close with my sisters as I feel like the twins are in this.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've definitely got our own kind of like humour together.
Yeah, and like points of reference and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of like which happens in this book. Like I think the sister and the sibling relationships in general are written very well because I think they bounce off each other and they refer to things that have happened in the past or things that have happened, or they don't refer to things that have happened in the past, like unspoken stuff, and they all sort of know about it without saying.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, and I like the way like how like the twins almost not. Like because the twins feel like they can read each other's minds and things like that, which is
they make a bit of a joke about that.
They do make a bit of a joke about it. I really like it, and how almost like the younger sister, she feels almost a bit like isolated.
Yeah.
And I can imagine how true that must feel.
Yeah.
Like you probably would definitely feel like the outcast if you wasn't a twins, and especially being younger by quite a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved like the traditional aspects of it, and I like the idea of like, because where I'm quite close in relation to where we live with my family, it doesn't really feel like an event when we come together.
We've never had that sort of like same as me as well.
Yeah.
David and I, our parents don't live that far apart, and we sort of we live nearer my parents, don't we? But we never have a sort of like going home for Christmas moment. But I enjoy reading these going home for Christmas moments or seeing them in films, and I think it's quite a thing for a Christmas film or a Christmas book for that to be happening. People going home for Christmas. So yeah, but I enjoyed that way. I thought it felt sort of traditionally Christmas. And you know something else I've just realised as well? Well, not realised, but towards the end, they're called McAllisters.
Yeah.
Which is from Home Alone, isn't it?
Which is from Home Alone.
There we go. Right, let's have a look and see what people's general thoughts are. Unless you've got anything more to add, David.
No, pretty much. No,
Nothing more to add.
But generally, I liked it.
Good.
Generally, I liked it.
So Helen says, it wasn't until you said on your general thoughts video the other day that I realised that all of the siblings were named after trees. Yeah, did you realise that or not?
No, I did not. Oh God, no! I'm not intelligent enough to think of things like that.
Oh, you are. You're an intelligent boy. Emotional intelligence, absolutely brimming out of him.
Yeah.
Rebecca said, I was unsure in the beginning, but I found that as I plugged away, I didn't want to put it down. I really enjoyed it. Oh, good. Homegrown Education said, I enjoyed the book. The character Fern really grated on me at times, though, and I was hoping she would have the ending. She wouldn't have the ending she did. I think she needed to be on her own. I think there was a few moments I thought some of these people just need a bit of time on their own. Jessica said, I love this book. My first time reading Juno Dawson, and I would definitely read more. I found the sibling relationships relatable, and the book both funny and emotional. Yeah, you found it quite funny, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
When David started reading it.
Yeah, I definitely found the beginning of it.
chuckling.
Yeah, but before you found out about, I was about to say like spoiler, but everybody's read it. But when, I found it a lot funnier before you found out about Tom sleeping with Rowan.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, and then it didn't feel as funny, but I was chuckling out loud a lot when we was reading those.
Rowan was quite the character. And
was.
Homegrown Education said, I absolutely loved Rowan, and the audio was fab. So did the audio have a different narrator for each sibling, or was it just one person doing all the voices? Gemma said, I liked it overall. The teenage angst got a bit much. Enjoyed the sibling relationship. Not sure how believable I found the twist. I liked the short chapters, sibling rivalry written well also. Helen said, I loved the character of Rowan too. He was so entertaining. Jamie said, Rowan was my absolute favourite part. Really enjoyed from their point of view. Charlie said, I enjoyed it. I like the Home Alone reference too. Gemma said, not my fave from Juno Dawson, but I'm glad I read it. Oh, Gemma, are you a big reader of Juno Dawson? Because I have read a few of Juno's books. One of Juno's non-fiction books, The Gender Game, is one of my favourite non-fiction books. I think it's really, really great.
Is that as gossipy as this?
No, it's a non-fiction book about Juno. No, it's a non-fiction book about gender, and the tagline is because Juno is trans, so it's like the book about gender about someone who's been both genders. So it's a really, really interesting. It's amazing. Like I really, really think it's a great non-fiction. So I've read her non-fiction and loved that. Her other books I haven't loved as much, but I feel like they've all got this same sort of vibe. So I think if you enjoyed this, you would definitely go and enjoy other Juno Dawson stuff.
Definitely give another Juno.
Yeah.
But I just love a good gossip.
There's plenty of gossipy and other stuff.
Yeah.
I think she's got a series of books out at the moment that are about witches as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's have a look. What else have we got?
So many comments coming through. How'd you keep up with them all?
I do keep up, but I've just let everything go because I was too busy talking about it. Right, okay. I found this so enjoyable, says Sarah Flynn. Just perfect, easy Christmas reading, and I thought it was generally really funny, although the conclusion a little far-fetched. Laura said, I enjoyed this on audio and really I listened to this on audio and really enjoyed it. First book by this author and embarrassed to admit this was the first book I've read that featured a non-binary character. You said the same, didn't you?
Yeah.
You thought this was the first book you'd read with a non-binary character as well. Sarah said, I enjoyed it overall. I found the siblings' relationship authentic. Jude says, I liked it overall too. I loved how individual everyone's voices were. Loved the British flavour of the book. Loved how funny it was, as well as heartfelt and just very Christmassy. Yeah. Weirdly, it's the second book I've read this month that is set at Christmas in Edinburgh. So I feel like Edinburgh is very much the Christmas setting.
I have a work colleague who lives in Edinburgh, and she tells me how
they've got 2 Christmas
wonderful.
shops that are open all year round.
Yeah.
Don't you remember?
Yeah,
We went in
we
July
went in one,
before,
didn't
and
we?
there was
Yeah.
one there. Susanna said, I really love this book. I hadn't read any novels by Juno Dawson before, just non-fiction, and found the writing really funny and engaging. Betsy said, I enjoyed it too. Really great Christmas read. Leanne said, I loved it. I loved the sibling rivalry and the book that was told from all the siblings' points of view. Leanne, we've got a question on that later. Sky says, Juno Dawson is a favourite author of mine, and the book made me laugh so much as well as feel so connected to the characters. Throughout the book, I felt like I was a fly on the wall in their house. Yeah, I got that vibe as well. Iona said, I really enjoyed this book. I love the gossipy feel of it. Actually, while talking about the book with my husband, I told it feels a bit like a soap opera, and I love it. Yeah, it does. Like, if you were to explain what's happening, it does definitely sound like a soap opera. Sarah said, I really enjoyed it. It was a little too much for me in places, but it was well written, good rep, and really liked the underlying fact that they all really loved each other. Yeah, that was the sort of message that was through at the end,
exactly.
wasn't it?
Yeah, as it is with a lot with families, isn't it?
Jane said, I loved it. I loved all the traditions. Characters felt really real to me, and I loved all the new relationships that were built up, Willow and Sid especially. Oh, Laura says, though, the audio just has one narrator. Oh, and then somebody says just different narrators. So maybe there's 2 versions of it.
Maybe.
Kimberly, I haven't taken your name down yet. I enjoyed this book. It's different than all other holiday books. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I suppose it is actually. I've been reading quite a lot of Christmassy books recently, and yeah, this is different. This is like, because we for some reason we thought it was going to be a thriller, didn't we?
I wasn't sure. I remember you thought it was.
Yeah, I don't know what made me think it was going to be a thriller. And Rebecca says, oh, and this is my first book by Juno Dawson. I think I might have to pick up another of her books. Annika says, I really love this book. First time reading a YA since my 20s. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. It was cosy, real, and very modern. It was very emotional, and I was cheering for a happy ending. And what a happy ending we all got. Claire says, I've lost Claire's comment. Here we go.
Oh, God.
First Juno Dawson for me too, and I loved it, although Fern's storyline seemed a little bit predictable. Kaylee said, this is my first Juno Dawson. I found it really easy to read. I did enjoy it. I felt like I was in a secret gossip conversation and loved it. Louise said, enjoyed the initial journey home for them all and the hectic experiences, was hooked with the changing characters each chapter. Definitely thought it was going to be a thriller though. That was a surprise. Oh, so we weren't the only people.
Oh, right,
Is that because
okay.
I'd said it was going to be a thriller though? Is that why everyone was thinking it was going to be a thriller? Jane said, I'd recommend Clean and Meat Market, other books from Juno, if you enjoyed this. Oh, right. So I don't know if anyone wants to take those down, but Jane, who's read other books by Juno, said, I'd recommend Clean and Meat Market. So there we go. Tara, whose name I also haven't written down, says, I'm nearly 50 and I was a little worried about reading YA, but I loved it. Felt a bit like a YA version of Grown Ups by Marion Keyes, funny and with a warm heart. Yeah, I knew it was a YA and it had said like not suitable for younger readers, but there's some graphic shagging in there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, which I wouldn't like listening to on audio.
No, you wouldn't like that,
No.
would you? I wondered how you get on, because I remember once you read a book which had... Oh no, you listened to it on audio and you were like...
Yeah. It was,
didn't like
it was a
hearing
bit
it.
much, wasn't it? I can imagine, like, I've just read the back again. I feel like you could interpret that as a thriller.
Right.
Especially because it says Willow is terrified of Christmas
Oh,
Day,
okay.
which I think might indicate, and then the rest of it. Yeah, I could see how people might think that could end up being a bit of a thriller.
Yeah, Katie said, I found it really readable and accessible, enjoyed the sibling relationship, and I really liked the bits told by the house. Me too. David skipped the first one though, he didn't even know it was there. Nicola said, it was fine, not my kind of thing I suppose. It was very competent, but I found it a bit right by numbers, found it hard to distinguish between the 3 voices, especially at the start. Jessica said, does Juno Dawson normally write characters of this age? I've stayed away from her books as I thought her characters were younger teens. I have only read this. Oh no, I've read another one, a really old one of hers. I think was also a bit witchy, and I think they were school teenagers. They weren't like young adults like these guys are. Like these are, I would put these people at like early 20s.
Yeah.
And like late teens maybe.
Yeah.
I think Willow.
Yeah, they are.
How
Yeah.
old does Willow say she is? 19?
I think Willow's 17, I
Oh.
think.
Gemma said, I loved Meat Market and Clean, not read a non-fiction, we'll add that to my list now. Emily said, I liked it overall, even though it's not something I would usually pick up. I liked that all the characters had some bad behaviour, but with some but were still overall understandable and likeable in some way. Laura said, I love a good family saga and really enjoyed the chapters being told from each sibling's perspective. I thought Willow's story was told well, felt real, and was handled sensitively. Charlie said, I love the characters and how it felt so cosy. The only thing that irked me a bit was the Christmas Day bit, but maybe this was the shift in narration style. Yeah, that bit is told entirely from the perspective of the house. Kaylee said, I really like this book. I'm away from home this Christmas and it was nice to read a book about going home and all the Britishness. Really made me laugh, like beginning in King's Cross. Yeah, that's where we go into London, isn't it? King's Cross.
Indeed.
Louise said, also loved that it was set in Edinburgh as I'm from Fife, just over the water. Cool to know they were talking about. Oh, that's nice. I love that when that happens, when you're reading a book and it's set around where you live. Nicola said, good thing about this book club though, an opportunity to read books I wouldn't normally pick up. Yeah, absolutely. And to chat about them as well. Like, that's what I really like about it. That's what I really like about it. Charlotte said, not sure about the ending and some bits were quite predictable. I enjoyed Sid and Willow's relationship though, and it did help to put me in a Christmassy mood. Great. Nikki said, I really love this book. I love Rowan as a character and getting... I've lost it. And getting to see all the siblings' points of views. Rebecca said, oh, and I really loved how the house had input in the book. Yeah, there's going to be a question about multiple perspectives later, so that's exciting to talk about that. Jockey Cake, Sally said, I read the Christmas Day section when you were doing your cozy reader night and you had the Christmas music in the background. It was the best part for me, magical. Oh, lovely. Emily said it felt really Christmassy and I loved the narration from the house. The house bits were my favourite. I love books from the perspective of a place. Sarah said the aunt and the cousin were not needed though. I agree. I felt like that was one too many things in there, and yeah, very forgettable, I would say as well, particularly because some of the other sort of side characters were so well developed, like Sid and Tom and Hamish, that the aunt and the niece and the cousin just felt like an afterthought. Yeah. Melanie said, I loved it. Rowan was my fave. I read What's the Tea earlier this year and will definitely read more Juno Dawson. Oh, so Laura said it was 2 narrators on the audio. Leanne also thought it was going to be a thriller. Laura is agreeing with Sarah about not needing the aunt and the cousin. Sally saying to Emily, I enjoyed the house narration. Homegrown Education said, I get the same vibes from this as I did Grown Ups. I agree with Chocky Cake. The Christmas Day section was magical. Helen says, definitely going to check out Grown Ups by Marion Keyes then. Yeah, we read that for book club in March. I love that book. She's got Marion Keyes. It was just so good. It was the first sort of book I really immersed myself in, like when lockdown was happening, and it was really good. If it wasn't so long, David, I'd tell you to read it, but yeah.
Oh, I can't handle long books.
No, it's massive as well. All of her books are. I read the first few chapters while on the train back up north for Christmas after only just making the train, so could definitely relate to that train station rush. Jane says most of Juno's recent books are late teens, often around 18 to 19. And Gemma says, yes, Meat Market and Clean are late teens, similar to this, older readers for sure. Kaylee says, oh my days, yes, it does have similar vibes to Grown Ups. Jessica said, I loved that Christmas Day was told by the house. It showed how Christmas is a lot of build-up but then goes so quick. Yeah, that's true, because I remember when I was flicking through and seeing that Christmas was only... That's a really good point, actually. That's really nice, Jessica. That the Christmas Day section was so small compared to, like, Christmas Eve and Christmas Eve. But like, and it's true. Like, you're very much in the moment. So to hear about it as a sort of, like, overall day, that was very good.
Yeah, because, like, the build-up...
Yeah.
It's always about the build-up, isn't it? And then...
That
Christmas
was a great point, Jessica, thank you. Sky says, I think Juno Dawson's London series are more for older teens. There's quite a lot of dark themes, like in Wonderland and Clean Talk. Sorry, in Clean talks a lot about drugs
more
abuse.
From Juno.
Sarah says, also as a Glaswegian, I really didn't like the aunt and cousin portrayed as from a rougher background, played on stereotypes yet there. Gemma says, Sarah, I wasn't really sure on the point of the aunt and the cousin. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same about that. So there we go, general thoughts. So general thoughts is that people found it Christmassy and we were quite into it. So there we go. Right, okay, so the first question I've got, as I said, there would be a question about multiple perspectives. So how did you enjoy the way the book was told from multiple perspectives and a chapter was told by each sibling and even hearing from the house itself? I'll just read that question again before I give my thoughts. How did you enjoy the way the book was told from multiple perspectives? For example, a chapter told by each sibling and even hearing from the house itself. So are you happy for me to start, or would you like to start?
Please do.
I like a multiple perspective book, and I thought it worked really well here, particularly with the sort of gossipy nature of the book. I loved hearing what a specific event or something that was said looked like from each sibling's perspective. I loved the house perspective the most, and I think I liked the omnipresent sort of neutral vibe from that house, and particularly that Christmas Day section, as a few people have mentioned it. But after the house, I think, strangely, because she wasn't my favourite person, but I think my favourite perspective was probably Fern, and I think that's just because it felt the least sort of chaotic, and I really fucking need that right now. So I think that's why I decided that. So how did you find the different perspectives.
Well,
So whose perspective do you think you like the most?
I know somebody wrote it in the comments earlier, but I've got to admit, after the first 3 chapters, I didn't realise it was from a different perspective of people, because, as per always, I don't read things properly, so I don't bother reading the chapter titles.
Do you not?
No, well, and then I did when I realised, because somebody mentioned about a train in the, like, obviously Rowan, and then it was another one. It was complete, and I was like, this isn't making any sense whatsoever. And then I went back and looked, and I was like, oh, it's a different perspective from each one.
By the way, he didn't even read. So it opens with the house's perspective. You can't see, but it opens with like italics, and I said, oh, did you like that bit about 100? It was when we were filming our initial thoughts, and you were like, I don't think I even read that.
I
So we literally turned to the 22nd of December and started
it was
from
a
there.
thank you, like from the author or something like that. But yeah,
You should still read those. I thought it was a thank you or something
or
boring.
like a dedication. But yeah, I really loved the from the perspective of each one, and especially when there was a discussion or argument from a certain someone, like for instance, say Rowan, and then like Willow's is reacting to that argument at the start of the next chapter, like, oh my god, I can't believe he said that and stuff. I really like the continuation over, like, from one chapter over to the next.
But the thread was still very well sort of.
It's very much. It was like
so
you got the storyline there, and you're like it's like almost like not a multiverse. That's just silly, but it's kind
David
of like.
will slip the word multiverse in anything.
So
you watched Spider-Man this week and you haven't really.
But yeah, I thought it was. I did enjoy the perspective of the house, and it is right. Like, yeah, I enjoyed its very neutral take on it and how it didn't
like
really...
omnipresent and like the way he referred to people, the house referred to people as their names, like the mother and father and the brother and the boyfriend.
Because it's obviously lived through generations of McAllisters.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't got time to remember all of their names.
No, not even McAllisters. I think 120 Christmases the house said he'd seen. Right, so let's have a look. Laura says, I enjoy books that are told from multiple perspectives or points of view, add in a different time frame as well, and I'm in heaven. It always feels genuine when it's told from multiple points of view. Sky says, love multiple perspectives and chapters by each sibling. I find you get far more involved in each character and their feelings. You connect more with each rather than just with one. Gemma said, I love the house chapter, but I'm not sure it fit in this book. The gossipy nature definitely suited the multiple perspective. Yeah, I agree. Kimberly said, I love the multiple points of view. It made for a quick read for me. Yeah, the chapters were super quick.
I love quick chapters.
Because David and I were reading it at the same time as well. At the beginning, I was sort of like thinking, oh, well, I'll have he's playing his PlayStation. He's not going to read it for the next sort of 20 minutes. I'll go and nip in the bath and do that. And then once I was reading it, and then I was like, oh, the chapters are really short, so I'll just start another one. And then it was a really long chapter. It really took me by surprise.
there was one massive long chapter in there.
Betsy said the multiple perspectives really moved the book along and kept things fresh, and yes, added to the gossipiness. Helen said I really like the multiple perspectives and that the chapters were so short. I think it helped to speed the book along. Nikki said I love the points of view. I thought the short chapters were great to hold my interest and keep me reading. I really couldn't put it down. I even found myself wanting to read from Sid and Tom. Yeah, I was surprised. I wondered if we might get a couple, or I wondered if like the next Christmas was going to be told by somebody sort of like outside of the family, but was pleased to hear it was told from the house. Jamie said I love the different perspectives. I can't get the word perspective out. And the fact that they were short chapters, so the pace really worked well and kept me intrigued. So read in one sitting, the whole thing in one sitting. Jamie, amazing. Wow. Jessica said, I always like multiple perspective books, and I liked all of the siblings. I never got the feeling that I sometimes get with these books where I'm waiting for a perspective I liked best. That's true, actually, but Fern was my favourite because I relate to her as the oldest sensible sibling. Yeah, sometimes when I'm reading a book, I'm like, oh, I want to get to this bit because I get on best with this writer. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, and I never felt like that the whole time I was reading it, so thanks for bringing that up, Jessica. Laura said I really enjoyed I said you really enjoyed it, Laura, and you didn't say that. You said I enjoyed.
Stop putting words into Laura's mouth. I enjoyed the multiple perspective,
particularly if one sibling's chapter ended on a cliffhanger. It made you read on to their next section to find out what happens. James loved multiple perspectives and the house's voice too. I would have quite liked the house's perspective a little more often though. Do I feel like I wanted more? I loved it when it happened, but I wasn't yearning for it, but yeah, I enjoyed I enjoyed hearing from it when I did.
Because I enjoyed the almost like the gossipy aspect of the book, and I feel like the house didn't bring a gossipy aspect.
Kayla says I thought it was well done and it was so well connected, it flowed, and I didn't feel like I was waiting too long to find out what was happening next. Sarah says I enjoy books written from multiple points of views. I always find it helps move the story along quite quickly. Louise said I love the different perspectives. However, I didn't like the house sections. I thought there was such a build up to Christmas Day and then it was over in just a couple of pages.
But that is very true of real life.
It is. Charlie says, I need to read the house bits again as I kind of just wanted to hear from the siblings, so probably speed read it. Rowan was my fave. Susanna said, I enjoyed the different perspectives and I think it made me read it quicker since the chapters were pretty short and always from a different perspective than the last one. Rebecca said, I loved it. Good. I loved how it made the chapter shorter and it was just the right amount of each character at each time, and I absolutely loved the perspective from the house. I thought that was so original. Susanna said it made me curious about how the same events played out from a different perspective. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Annika said, I love the multiple perspectives. It made me want to see how other characters felt in certain scenes. Unpopular opinion, but I didn't like the house perspective. Charlotte said, I enjoyed the multiple perspective books. I quite liked that the house chapter was so different to the rest, as it gave a bit of a change of scene and a break from the chaos of the rest. Yeah, it did feel chaotic, didn't it? I think that's, like I said, like that's probably why I liked Fern's point of view the most, because it felt so normal. I just liked her being in Tesco's looking for her ex-boyfriend. That just felt like something I would do. Kayla said, not now I've got you though, David, I don't need any ex-boyfriend.
Thank you.
Kayla says, I felt like each chapter I needed to someone to give that I'm in the know side eye to, like, can you believe it? Claire said, I love books with chapters from different perspectives, so it's almost like you're piecing a jigsaw together to understand the full story, and made it a very easy read. Kaylee said, like the multiple perspectives, and thought of all the siblings added something different, like when everyone's enjoyed the gossipy feel and then liked having the house as a calmer voice. Emily said, I like the moments that showed when the siblings had same thoughts without saying them out loud to one another. Jude said, I loved it mainly because I think Juno is great at creating different voices, and the house's perspective gave it a necessary Christmas magic feeling. Yeah, I think it did add a sort of like Christmassy vibe to it, like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, magical, warm. You need a little cheese at Christmas. Nicola said, I enjoy multiple perspectives. It works in this kind of mobile, speedy light book and keeps things ticking along nicely, but it took quite a while for the voices to become distinct. And Katie said, yeah, I really like the multiple perspectives, kept me engaged. Homegrown Education said, I usually prefer books from just one perspective, but in this book it was done really well. Everything flowed nicely. Leanne said, I love the different points of view. I think my favourite was Willow. I love the short chapters. Iona said, I loved the multiple perspectives as well. I think my favourite was Fern, as I felt it connected to her the most. Leanne said, I also like the way that each chapter continued from one person to the other, and that gives the same events from the different perspectives. Louise said, very true, David. I just wanted to dwell on it through all of the different characters. Greedy of me. And Emily said, I love the house bits. I live in an older house. This will be its 98th Christmas, and I often feel like it's taking care of me and keeping me safe, and I pat its walls and tell it I love it. That's so lovely. Your mum and dad live in an old house. I wonder how long that's been there for.
Yeah, I wonder.
We'll have to find out. I'm sure it probably would say. Quite often those old sort of buildings have the thing on there. So I wonder how many Christmases they've had. We don't live in an old house, so
we don't know.
we might have spent the most Christmases in this house, I think, more than anyone.
We have.
Maybe.
I think so.
So yeah, those are people's thoughts on the way the book was told from multiple perspectives. I think that might be it in terms of the question of multiple perspectives. And hopefully I'll never have to say multiple perspective ever again. Question 2. Should we move on to question 2? Did you, David, see events unfolding before they'd happened? So, for example, Tom having slept with Rowan, the divorce of Mr. and Mrs. McAllister, Fern reuniting with her ex, and Willow falling for Sid. Did you see any of those? There were other sort of revelations, but did you see any of those? I'm just going to read it again just so that people can...
Please do.
So did you see events unfolding before they'd happened? For example, Tom having slept with Rowan, the divorce of Mr. and Mrs. McAllister, Fern reuniting with her ex, and Willow falling for Sid. David, did you see any of those things sort of
Tom
unfolding?
and Rowan, yes. With regards to the mum and dad divorce, I thought... Obviously, I knew there was something up, but I thought they were already divorced.
Right, okay.
I thought they were already split up, and like he was living in a different house.
Yeah.
And then coming back every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was like I didn't really see this Sid and Willow thing happening, and like the cousin being pregnant was just a needless.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming because I didn't really care. So, but yeah, the two big ones I definitely saw come in.
Yeah. So somebody mentioned earlier that the writing felt a little bit like writing like by numbers, and there was a few times I thought, oh well, this is going to have happened. Like when Tom was spelt THOM, I thought, I wonder if that's spelt wrong because there's been a bit of miscommunication or someone else has done that. So I thought that early doors, and also when Fern mentioned her ex-boyfriend by name, I thought he's coming back to like
Old
Hamish. I thought Hamish was coming back. So there were like quite a few bits in there where I thought, well, that's going to turn into something. And I remember I was actually sat on the toilet, David, and I'd only read like a couple of chapters, and I said to you, I can see where this is going. Rowan's going to have shagged Tom. And you were like, do you want to know?
And unfortunately, if somebody asks me a question that involves this, I'm not very good because I will Even though I'll try, my face just gives it away, and the way I answer gives it away.
Yeah. I didn't see the divorce coming at all, though. Like, that really took me by surprise. I
No,
didn't think
it
anything.
was very much when
I thought they were
kind
being weird, but then I just didn't know if they were just being weird. Like,
no, because it was literally the first time they asked, and it was written in a way like, oh, like Mum answered in like a really rushed way, like, oh, I don't know where he is, or he's at work. And as soon as she said that, I was like, they're not together anymore.
I must say though, the sort of knowing seeing it unfolded, it didn't take away from like what I think the book wanted to deliver, and I think that sort of added to almost the fun of it, like sort of you getting an idea of what was going on before you'd actually read or had it confirmed that it was going on. So yeah, I think the revelations and me being able to spot the revelations, like early doors, literally like seeing someone's name written on the page and thinking, well, that's going to happen. Something's going to happen here. It didn't, I don't think that lessened the book for me anyway. Like, it still delivered on what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and see what people think.
Well, the people...
Do I sit back for a little bit? I've got a bit of a bad... Oh, everything's happening, guys. I'm absolutely falling apart. Let's have a look. Annika says, I predicted the parents divorcing, especially as the dad being away at work.
Yeah.
Betsy said, I did see most of the things happening, but I didn't mind that in a Christmas book so much. Yeah, I think that's what I mean, Betsy. Like, it was a Christmas book, and I think it sort of delivered on the Christmassy book, and it didn't like, I didn't think, well, that's ruined it. Like, I didn't feel like that.
Yeah, definitely not. No,
Helen said, I thought the dad was ill, and that's why he kept disappearing. Leanne said, the only one that I saw happening was Willow falling for Sid. I didn't see any of those other things happening.
Oh.
Charlie said, I didn't spot the divorce, but the Tom thing I spotted. Kayla said, I did find it quite predictable, but it didn't taint anything. I just wanted to see it unfold. I felt the pregnancy scare was just to fill the pages and add an extra drama that wasn't needed. Do you know what, Kayla? When I was writing that question, I said to David, I'm going to talk about sort of like events unfolding. Because it mentions on the back, it says 4 sleeps till Christmas, 3 secretive siblings, 2 hot house guests, and 1 juicy secret. And I was like, well, what's the juicy secret? Because there's lots going on. And then when I was saying, oh, what's the what the sort of like the big plot points, and you said about Cara falling pregnant, and I was like,
it's not really that big.
It's not, and because I didn't believe in those two as a couple of characters, I felt it was.
Would you have classed the one big secret as being Tom and Rowan?
Well, that's what I thought the one big secret was, but then I think maybe the thing was that the parents were getting divorced.
I feel like that's the one big secret. It
One
could have
big
been its own question, really, couldn't it?
Oh, David, you should do this book club every month for me. Laura said, I guess without Fern getting back with Hamish. Louise said, I've seen most of it coming, to be honest. I was most surprised by the Willow storyline with Sid. Laura said, I could see Willow falling for Sid coming as there was such a connection there. Also, I suspected Fern would sleep with Hamish when she took off on Christmas Eve. Didn't see the other twists, though. Annika says the storylines of the aunt and the cousin really wasn't needed. Louise said, although I didn't expect Fern to sleep with Hamish, I thought that was out of character. Rebecca said, okay, so honestly, I didn't give that much thought when I was reading it, but I was really surprised about Willow at the end, with her doing yoga and creating that community for herself. Yeah, I thought that was a lovely touch, actually. Leanne said the cousin and the aunt didn't need to be there at all. Annika is agreeing with Louise about it being out of character for Fern to sleep with Hamish. Charlie said, yes, it was still charming and enjoyable. Melanie said the unfolding felt like a good, cosy... It says ROSC, R-O-S-C. I don't know if that stands for something or if that's a typo. Jude says, I sort of did. I thought Dad was having... I've lost it. I thought the dad was having an affair, but I generally wasn't even thinking about there being past the event between any of the characters. I love the flashback scene in France. Yeah, how did you find about the flashback, David? Because you hate a flashback.
I didn't mind it.
Oh, phew. Jane says, I didn't mind that some things were predictable. A lot of my favourite Christmas films are very predictable and it doesn't spoil the magic.
That's
I
true.
think that's what I mean, like it being a Christmas thing. Nicola said, yes, I saw all 4 coming. That was part of the problem for me. It felt quite prescriptive and right by numbers. Yeah, I can see that, Nicola. Susanna said, I didn't see the Rowan and Tom twist come in. Fern reuniting with her ex I could see happening long before it did. Same with the divorce. Emily said, I thought the parents were trying to hide some sort of financial trouble or job loss rather than divorce. Helen said, this book reminded me of the Christmas film, The Family Stone. It is like The Family Stone. You know the one with Rachel McAdams in, and she comes home, and it's got Luke Evans in it, and Sarah Jessica Parker, and Sarah Jessica Parker turns up, sorry for people who haven't seen this film, Sarah Jessica Parker comes because she's marrying the guy who's also in New Girl. What's his name? Dermot Mulroney or someone. Dermot Mulroney. And then in the end, she ends up getting with Luke Evans, and Dermot Mulroney ends up getting with her sister, who's Claire Danes.
Oh yeah.
I quite like the film. You're not mad on it, but I don't mind
because
it.
it wasn't very Christmassy.
I did find it. I do think it is like that, Helen. Jamie said I
Maybe
expected...
I'd like it more now.
What, now I've told everyone what happens?
No.
I expected what happened. However, I do think for a YA and a Christmas book, I wasn't expecting all the tropes to be included, but it didn't take anything away from it. Katie said it seemed a bit predictable, but I didn't mind it. Agree with what somebody said earlier, that I didn't think Fern should have ended up with Hamish. I think her being by herself would have been a bit better. Yeah, potentially. Susanna said I didn't mind the predictable twists though, because when the sequels were revealed, it was done well and kept me reading. Melanie said the unfolding felt like a good cosy Christmas rom-com film. Rom-com film is what she was saying. Thank you. And yeah,
right, okay.
We've just likened it to one, haven't we? Sarah said I don't think I was surprised by any of the revelations and found it quite predictable, but I still found it enjoyable. Betsy says I think there are two big secrets. Susanna said yes, it definitely felt like a lovely cosy Christmas film, the way everything unfolded. Louise said I thought the one big secret was the parents, as it affected the most people. Iona said Rowan and Tom, I saw that coming quite quickly. Same with Fern and Hamish. I didn't see the divorce coming, however. Charlotte said I did see a lot of it coming, but I didn't mind that too much. The thing that did surprise me was Hamish and his struggle with alcoholism. I should have included that as a trigger warning, sorry guys, which was interesting to see in a young character. Yeah, and he was very sort of sensible about it.
He was, yeah.
Not that you can't be sensible about your own alcoholism,
No.
but like he was at a rave still and like
Exactly,
still not
yeah.
drinking. I thought, God, you must be a really strong person if you can go to these sort of like environments where drink and drugs is like the main thing.
And at that age as well.
And at that age, and just be like, I'm not actually drinking booze
Yeah.
anymore. I
Yeah,
found it
fair
fucking
play,
hard enough to
Hamish.
tell people I weren't drinking booze when I was in my like 20s. So let alone like when you're 19 or whatever. I did not see the divorce coming at all. I did foresee the Hamish Fern thing coming though, says Nikki Miller. Kaylee said, I guess some of it, predicting stuff, didn't spoil it for me though. I feel like maybe I enjoyed the mood and feeling of the book rather than relying on the storyline, if that makes sense. Gemma liked Willow's ending the most, as did Rebecca. And Sarah says, I thought more was going to come from the aunt and the cousins parts in the story, but when it did, I didn't understand why they were there in the first place. Laura is completely agreeing with Helen's book. I've lost that comment.
Oh, God.
Oh, the book reminding of the family stone, yeah. Kimberly said, for a change, I tried to stay out of my head and not overthink it like I usually do and just enjoy the story unfolding like a kid does. Yeah, that's nice. I sometimes have to do that.
Oh my God,
as
yeah.
well.
I always think like the biggest and the worst is going to happen in books.
You do, whenever you're reading things,
Yeah.
you're like, I've just got a really bad feeling that everyone's going to get murdered in this book.
Yeah. And it's Paddington.
Gemma said, I don't mind predictable, but I don't like completely unrealistic things, which I felt they were here. Yeah, by the end, I was a bit like, it's all being sort of tied up in noose knots and everyone.
Noose knots.
Noose knots. Emily said, me too, Kimberly. I just enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. So those there ends the sort of like questions about the actual content of the book and the way it's written and things like that. We'll get onto anything more at the end when we talk about if anyone's got during open discussion.
Any other business?
Any other business. But now, so as I said previously, the book is, so this is sort of like question 3. As I said previously, the book is full of Christmas traditions of the McAllister family. So, for example, Christmas movie marathons and Boxing Day walk.
I do love some of them,
Do any of these ring true with your families? Or would you like to share any Christmas traditions with us? And again, don't feel like you have to. I know Christmas is still very different this year for everybody. Like, do you remember when we were sat here last year and I was like, I don't know if we knew we were going to be on our own for that Christmas. But
I think we might have found out either.
we found out on the Saturday, so maybe it was maybe we did do it on the Sunday after. So yeah, I still know that people may have very different Christmases, and if it's a bit painful for you, don't feel like you have to share anything. But would love to hear if you have Christmas traditions or if anything is like this. So let's have a look and just see.
I was going to say, because I like as big as
People are laughing because
Christmas-
you said about people being murdered in Paddington.
Yeah, yeah. I hope not. That'd be very sad.
Would be very sad.
I don't feel like as big as like Christmas fans that my family are.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like we have traditions.
Loads of presents.
Yeah,
That's a
like a
tradition. Like
ludicrous amount.
unbelievable amount of presents, food, party stuff in the evening, and things like that. Like stuff that you think is normal is probably traditional to your family.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Like me and you, what traditions do we have? We always make sure we have something nice for breakfast.
Yeah, we always make sure we have something nice for breakfast.
Open stockings in our
We
bedroom.
definitely like to go for a little walk on our own.
At some point during
At some
Christmas,
point
yeah,
during
I just need a bit of
Christmas.
away time.
Yeah, we just have a nice little walk on our own, just for like a half hour, just to take it all in.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty hectic. Whoever's family we're at, they're pretty full on days, aren't
Yeah.
they?
And I'm a pretty full-on person, so I need a bit of time away from
exactly, yeah.
someone.
It's just the ultimate
People,
clash,
not just
isn't
one,
it?
but I made it sound like there was one person in particular. My sister. No, it's not my sister at all.
Yeah, like board games, but we don't we always play board games.
Yeah,
but we
there's never
don't
a
play
particular board game we
board
play and things like that.
games.
I suppose like not particularly around Christmas, but like putting up of Christmas has become quite a big thing for us.
Yeah.
And the decorating of Christmas and things like that, and
like things that are traditional for me, but not necessarily on Christmas days. Like, I like to have a little drive around and look at all the Christmas lights, and have a little walk around and look at the Christmas lights.
We've got to do that actually.
Yeah,
you said we'll do that tonight. We can't do that tonight.
No,
I'm
we
too tired,
haven't got
David.
time now.
I'm too tired.
But we will do it
David.
one
I'm
night
too
this
tired.
week.
Yeah.
There's a little road nearby us that is apparently very Christmassy this year, which I'd like to go and have a look at.
Good. Anything else? Don't you read those?
No, sorry. Don't think so.
Yeah. Let's have a look and see what other
Yeah,
people
I'm
have
intrigued
said
because
then.
maybe we could nick some
Oh,
traditions.
I've just seen Rachel's turned up, so I'm just writing
Because
Rachel's
I like,
name
I'd
down.
love to do I'd love to get a little movie marathon.
Yeah.
Thing. So like what I would like us to make a tradition is because we went to a drive-in movie theatre this year.
Yeah, so
and
good.
I'd love to do one every year, a Christmas one, because it was such good fun.
Yeah. Right, okay, so Sarah said, I remember in last year it was all up in the air. Yeah, I still feel like it's a little bit up in the air this year.
I know,
so I don't know
yeah.
what's going to happen.
There is a...
We're just trying to stay away from people so that we can spend Christmas with our families. Jamie says, a Christmas movie day is always needed, I feel. Rachel says, sorry I'm late, didn't get the chance to read the book, but I'm still loving this.
Hi, Rach.
Welcome, Merry Christmas. David called you Rach then.
I did.
Best friend.
We're BFFs. Hi, Rach.
Laura said, when I'm with my family as opposed to my husband's family, the youngest always says to hand out the presents from under the tree. That's lovely.
That's very
Yeah,
nice.
so when we go to David's family, they're always all in big piles and your mum's wrapped them in different wrapping paper, so a different wrapping paper per person.
And then you just go ape shit,
it's
don't you?
mental.
It is mental.
Nikki says, this is a fairly new tradition, but the last few years my dad has made a fondue for Christmas Eve dinner. That is a lovely thing.
Oh, actually.
So we normally on a Christmas Eve, although we're not doing it this year, we normally go to my mum and dad's and they have ham, egg and chips, and I just have egg and chips.
You just have egg and chips. Oh, yeah. That is...
But we're not doing that this year.
No, maybe I might just go around there for lunch.
She'd have you.
I might do that. I might message your mother.
Kane says, Christmas Eve is our wedding anniversary. What a perfect day. So we always have matching PJs, takeaway food and Christmas films and games. When we got married, we were home by 7 p.m. and in our matching pyjamas. God, that sounds like the absolute dream, doesn't it?
Oh, God, like now, I feel like more are coming flooding into my head now.
Right, we'll chip in with them, David. Chip in with them, babes.
This is the second year it's happened, but I think... Spoiler, it's probably going to happen every year.
Yeah.
Is that on the 1st of December, I will get us a pair of matching pyjamas.
Yeah.
I think that's...
And also, Katie says new festive pyjamas on Christmas Eve. David's mum always does us like a little Christmassy box.
She does.
They're bringing the Christmas, David's family.
Yeah.
Jane says a lot of our traditions are food related. I think a lot of people's are, and
oh my God,
why not? Certain ways to use the leftovers, highlighting the Christmas radio times pre-Christmas. That's something we do. It's a massive tradition.
Yeah.
Gemma says we have a beige buffet on Christmas Eve and watch National Lampoons. Louise says we always have square sausage rolls on Christmas morning.
Oh,
that's square sausage. That is a Scottish thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that is.
Louise,
nice,
are
nice,
you Scottish?
Nice.
Even though I still have my own family in house, my parents are still coming in the morning with sausages pre-cooked. That's so cute.
So one of mine, it was more in my drinking years. So when I used to live with my mum and dad, so I'd go out on a Christmas Eve to my local pub, and I'd get back at around like 1 a.m. something like that. And normally, because my dad's a very light sleeper and he's probably more excited about Christmas Day than us, is that he would chop up the veg. So normally when I would get in at like 1 o'clock in the morning, he'd be up chopping veg and he would watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And normally, so I get in drunk with Mickey Bab and we'd just sit down and watch it together.
That's lovely. I bet he misses that so much.
Probably not.
He doesn't sleep at all, your dad, does he?
doesn't.
He's always up at like mental times.
He barely sleeps.
Nicola said, I did like Fern's obsession with doing Christmas in a certain way. I'm a bit like that. We always have the same food, including the same cocktails on Christmas morning with presents. Yeah, so I think that's like a Christmas thing. I think Christmas is a lot to do with rituals and traditions and things like that. So when I like read books, I tend to read the same books or the same type of books at Christmas. And like we do the same things. And we're not talking about Vlogmas, like a lot of the videos have been the same as previous years. But I think that's because it's been like, that's Christmas.
My mum just slightly put it out there when me and her and myself was talking about maybe doing Christmas dinner in the evening. I was like, no.
Yeah, you need it.
Christmas evening.
I remember one year
for the picky bits.
When me and Charlotte were younger, my mum said, how would you feel about going away on holiday this Christmas? We were like, how could you?
Yeah, no.
How could you suggest it?
What, just her and your dad?
No. Christmas Eve, cheese and buffet food by the fire and tree. It's so cosy, says Betsy. Jamie says, love that about Kayla's Christmas Eve traditions. Louise said, I've always wanted to play board games, but no one is interested in my family. You just have to work at them, Louise.
Yeah,
You just have to wear them down. David didn't like games. Guess what?
I love them now.
I have to really
You
work
just need to start off with like very easy, like not immersive
non-competitive games.
Yeah, like a nice card game.
Rebecca says, since marrying my husband, I've adopted their tradition of all of us getting together in presents. We didn't do it last year due to COVID, and we won't be doing it this year, even though everyone is. Betsy says, movies, a drive around for the lights. Yes, I love that. Homegrown Education says, my children are still very young, so we have lots of traditions. Places we visit every year and going to see a Christmas film in the cinema on Christmas Eve.
Nice.
That's lovely. Laura said, hubby and I always have a lovely long walk on the seafront in Blackpool where we live. Love the cold weather and getting all cosy. Yeah.
Was that Blackpool?
Cold, yeah.
Oh,
that
my
must be
God.
blowy, but we live near a beach, and I love, like, the beach in the winter's my favourite time of year for the beach. Gemma says, love a Christmas lights walk. We went last night. Jude says, when I was a kid, I always got a Bruins or all woolly annual. I think I've heard your dad talk about that before, and I'm reinstating that tradition this year. Also, we make a big thing of the Phoenix window in Newcastle, which is fun. Oh, good. Betsy says, I loved the two of you at the drive-in. It was so joyful.
It was amazing.
Kayla says, me and my husband always exchange a silly, happy, un-Christmas gift on Christmas Eve too. Oh, lovely. And our advent calendar, that's a tradition as well.
True.
Sarah says, watching a Muppets Christmas Carol with hot chocolate and treats on Christmas Eve. Annika said, the only tradition I have is seeing friends for present giving and going out for hot chocolates, which I've cancelled second year in a row. I love going to Christmas markets and going to Kew Gardens. Yeah, we've never been to Kew Gardens, but I always see photos and it looks beautiful. I would love to go next year. Katie says, quite a new tradition, but the last few years living in London, I go to see the Muppets Christmas Carol at the Prince Charles Cinema. That's lovely.
Oh, nice.
Kimberly says, I've lost Kimberly.
I saw a couple of friends on Facebook this year that at the Royal Albert Hall they showed Muppets Christmas Carol and they had the
orchestra
playing behind it.
With
lovely.
A thankful heart and a boo, boo, boo. Kimberly said, we always adopt 4 families and buy their Christmas dinner and gifts for their kids through the local mission. We have movies we watch and we always go for a walk in our hood to see the lights. That's lovely, Kimberly. Sarah said, I work in retail, so my tradition has always been working on Boxing Day.
Oh,
girl, I've been there.
We've been
but
there.
this year my company has decided they will close every Boxing Day now, so I can actually enjoy it. I'm so pleased that is actually happening a lot.
That's great.
Because I've worked in retail until I worked at the hospital job that I'm in now. I always worked in retail, and it was just some of the most terrible times, and like getting up and working in Marks and Spencer's on Boxing Day when there was a massive sale going on.
I remember I used to work in a quite a big local Sainsbury's, and we decided to open up Boxing Day for the first time ever, and we only had about 10 staff in total, because we were thinking nobody's going to bother coming in.
People doing their big shops.
People are just coming and pick up their milk and stuff, and people were doing big shops, and it got so busy. Like the manager of the store was frantically ringing up people, and they're like, "No, I don't want to come in. It's Boxing Day."
You're all right. I'm just about
Exactly.
to go into
Oh my God, it was a hell of a day.
Sally says, our tradition is to eat our Christmas meal on Christmas Eve, and for the last 7 years we've spent Christmas Day in pyjamas. I was never allowed to do it as a child. Oh, lovely.
Nice.
I remember once when I was younger, me wanting to wash my hair on Christmas Day, and my mum was like, you can't wash your hair on Christmas Day. I thought, I bloody will. Charlie said, I love all the traditions. Decorating the tree with Bublé on, festive baking, the movies, making paper chains and other paper crafts like snowflakes and festive hearts with my daughter.
Bublé's got a new TV special on tonight.
Oh, has he? Sarah says, I always watch Chicken Run. Kaylee said, when I was younger,
Chicken Run!
I was always allowed to sleep in the lounge on Christmas Day night and watch a new film I'd had as a Christmas present. It seemed like the most exciting thing ever. That is amazing.
Yeah,
that is
I'm
exciting.
these.
Charlotte says, yes, Chicken Run. Jude says, also, I think highlighting the TV guide is one of my favourite things about Christmas. Iona said, we always meet with our closest friends on Christmas evening. They were my husband's close friends, and for 11 years I've been joining their tradition as well. Now they're our godparents.
Oh, lovely.
Homegrown Education says, we also go to Forest on Christmas Day for a winter walk. Gorgeous. I think that's my favourite part of the day, coming from the cold for hot chocolates. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? Laura said, my children always decorate the tree after I put the lights on, and then I redo it on my way when they're in bed. Good. Melanie said, Muppets Christmas Carol every Christmas Eve without fail. Emily says, Christmas has gotten much more relaxed in my family in the last few years. We take it easy and there's less pressure. Sadly, in a large part, it's because all of our older family has passed away now, but my mum and dad and I enjoy a relaxing day of eating all day long. Yeah, I've definitely, like, one of the things, if we can take any positives from last year, we definitely cranked down Christmas a bit. Well, because it was just the two of us, because we had no choice, but I wasn't looking forward to it because I was so used to the sort of the Christmases that we'd done before, but I really enjoyed the sort of like only having to be in one place.
Yeah, we
just
did
the two
enjoy
of us.
it,
We could eat when
nice.
we want.
Yeah.
We could open the presents when we want. Shall we watch the Call the Midwife Christmas special? Yeah, let's stick it on. Like that sort of like not having to answer to other people. That was very, very nice. Kelly says we got married at 4 by candlelight under the Christmas tree in the church, and everyone wore Christmas jumpers. Then we toasted our marriage with a mince pie and came home and got in PJs and waited for Santa. That's lovely. Louise is Scottish, and she does eat. It's called lawn sausage.
Lawn sausage. I wonder if I can get that somewhere.
You can get vegetarian lawn
south.
sausage. Betsy says, no one in my family wants to match pyjamas with me, so I bought my dog and I matching ones. Perfect.
Amazing.
I like to think everyone was jealous last night when we debuted them for our family Home Alone viewing.
Yeah, I bet they
Rachel said
was.
that's so nice. Laura says, I emphasise with Fern's feelings on Boxing Day, such an anticlimax after Christmas Day. So we, like last year didn't happen, but we now tend to, rather than try and split ourselves over the day, we do one day with one of our families and the other day with the other family. So we do, so I think if we were in one place, maybe Boxing Day would feel like an anticlimax. What did we do last year? Oh, we watched Bridgerton last year on Boxing Day.
Yeah, we did.
But we're doing, we now do one at one and one at the other. Kayla said, I've lost it. I always watch The Snowman too, and she loves a picky tea. Emily says a new favourite tradition with my partner is watching Christmas in a Day every year. Yay!
I think I've watched
After
that
we
about
get
10
the tree
times
up, and it's
already
thanks to you
this
guys
year.
that I heard about Christmas in a Day. Yeah, it's an amazing. It's on YouTube, so if you want something Christmassy after this, it's very like British Christmas. It's 40 minutes. It's just like home film edited together by Ridley Scott.
Well, the 10-year anniversary of that advert will be coming up soon.
Period pains really
So
hard.
I want to message Sainsbury's and say, oi, do something about it.
Sarah says, I always watch Father Christmas by Raymond Briggs as well. Katie says, I'm starting a new job in the new year, which is based near Kew, so I'm hoping to finally have an excuse to visit Kew Garden. Helen said, I wonder if this Christmas is the year that me and my husband will get to watch Elf for the first time. 6 years ago on our daughter's first Christmas, we sat down to watch it and our kitchen flooded, and we've never chanced it since then. We've had to move our Christmas to my mum and dad's in the middle of the night. Oh my God. Jamie says, I couldn't imagine not seeing Elf every year. It's such a good movie. And Kayla says, I do love Boxing Day. I sit and read new books and just eat beige. Yeah.
Oh, beige.
Well,
Boxing Day should be changed to beige day.
Beige day.
Yeah.
So there we go. Thank you so much for sharing all your lovely Christmas traditions with us. That was
lovely
lovely.
traditions.
We're about to hit 8 o'clock, so we're probably going to overrun by a little bit, but we'll just go. We'll crack on. Was there anything people wanted to add to talk a little bit more about the book? Anything that you wanted to discuss in open discussion? If not, would you recommend this book to other people? Like, what do you think, David? Would you recommend this book?
I would recommend this book to people, and I would say as long as you love Christmas and a good bit of gossip, then you will definitely enjoy this book.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend it for like other times of the year. I think it is.
No, it's purely Christmas.
It is a Christmas book, and there's a lot of things in this book that if this was in a book that I was reading any other time of the year, I'd be like, eye roll, oh God. But because it's like, it entertained me for what it is, and I think as a good Christmas book and as a sort of slightly different Christmas book rather than the sort of traditional sort of women's contemporary fiction books I've read in the past, I think it delivers, and I think it's a good sort of like modern Christmassy
definitely,
book.
because I mean, like,
So
out of all the Christmassy books that I've read in my life, which admittedly isn't a lot, majority of them have been quite like kid related.
yeah, like middle grade. It's not a
Yeah.
middle grade Christmas book, which is
Yeah.
what we've read. Last
So-
year we read a middle grade and things like that. So yeah, I
and
definitely haven't
I've
read
like,
anything
the
like
Christmasaurus.
this.
No, I've never have.
At Christmas before, so I would recommend it based on that. So let's have a look. Betsy said would recommend to friends at Christmas. Helen said I would recommend it, but mention the trigger warnings first. Absolutely, and it does mention that at the beginning of the book, but I think that's definitely something that I would recommend. David went straight into the middle of the book. Betsy agrees with me. Leanne said would definitely recommend. Kimberly said I've already passed it on to a friend to read. Kayla says I don't want to add, I just want to thank you for both making someone who's felt quite lonely, like I'm among friends, and this is like my Christmas party, and it's been so lovely. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you. Well, I
Kayla,
managed to
thank
keep
you.
that hat on just for you.
Jamie said I would recommend as long as people like Christmas and pop culture references, as there was a lot.
I love a
Laura
pop
said
culture
yes,
reference.
I would recommend, and it was a nice change from some of the highly predictable women's contemporary Christmas fiction. Agreed. Charlie said yes, I would recommend it. Gemma said I would recommend it to adults. I'd be cautious about younger people as I'm out of touch with an age group and what's appropriate when... No, Gemma, I'm exactly the same. Like, I was thinking back to like when I was reading YA, although YA wasn't really a thing when I was like 14 and 15. So, but yeah, I was reading it thinking, bloody hell, these sex scenes are a bit explicit for like a YA audience, but hey, maybe I just don't know anything.
Oh god, yeah, I reckon. Like,
Christmas only recommendation though, I agree. Jane says the aunt and cousin storyline actually reminded me of the way you see some distant family members at Christmas and just get a tiny insight into their lives, never seeing them otherwise. That's a really good point, Jane, absolutely. Annika said, even though I loved it, I personally wouldn't recommend it. Homegrown Education said I would recommend it with big trigger warnings, and Rachel agrees. Thank you both. Your videos are such a cheerer upper. Thank you so much. And Kayla says it was the hat that made the whole evening, David.
Wow, thank you.
Laura said I would recommend, although predictable in parts, there's a certain comfort in the predictability at this time of year. Yeah, completely agreed. Rebecca said I loved Sid's advice to Willow on page 226 and 227. It's such great advice and one I tend to forget from time to time. Totally underlined it in my book. I would totally recommend it. So Sid's advice, which has really stayed with me as well, is that you are not your thoughts, which I think is something that I've had to definitely say to myself. And I think it's lovely advice. And it's a really, like, if anyone's to take anything from it, I think that's a nice,
definitely,
nice
like
point.
I'm a stickler for always thinking the worst. When it comes to anything in life.
You are. Oh God, my shoulder's hurting. Kimberly said you two are such lovely people. Thanks for the book club and such a fabulous time. You're so sweet. Jude said I would definitely recommend. I recommended Felix Ever After to a friend and she loved it. Lovely, right? I'll just see if there's any more general thoughts. Then. Don't give me a star rating yet. I'll say when it gets, there's 43 of you and it's going to go really fast.
Whoa.
So I will say, like, when we start doing star ratings, but I'm just going to see if there's anything more. Then I'll take star rating and then we'll look at the league table for the year before we move on to sort of any other business.
So are you going to reveal who was the top book of the year?
David, I'm going to reveal the whole order of the books of the year.
Wow.
So lovely. Let's have a look.
Hold on to your hats, guys.
And your headbands.
And your headbands.
I had to skip over Willow's thought about her weight and eating as it triggered me. Thank you for the warning. Oh, well, thank you for reading it. Like, I really appreciate it. Right, okay. Shall we move on to star ratings then? I feel like my star rating's going to seem quite low, but it did.
Do you not want me to give a star rating because I'm involved in any other books?
No, you can't give a star rating. You've joined in.
I didn't know if I was going to throw it off.
You've joined in.
Okay.
Right, someone's just said, Louise, oh my God, David, I'm exactly the same. Anyone in my family calls me and my first question is everything okay? David's like that.
If I get a message from like a family saying, can you give me a ring, please? I think, oh my
Who's dead?
God, what's happened? What have I done?
Right, Claire said absolutely would recommend it too. I've loved both the YA books since I've joined. At least in Romania, where I'm from, I think people don't know enough about the subject. And Betsy says, I feel you, Louise. Right, okay, so I'm going to go with my star rating. So I'm going to give it 2.5.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay, right. Let's have your other. I'll read out your name as you
3.5.
give it to me. If you don't think I say your name, then let me know. Just waiting for him to come in. My arm's hurting.
And here
they
go.
Betsy 3, Katie 3.5, Nicola 2, Sarah Flynn 4, All About the Page 3. Susanna 4, Charlotte Wollaston 3, Sarah Barber 4, Jessica 3.5, Louise Finlayson 4.5, Christina 3, Jane Evans 4.5, Rebecca Alley 4, Laura Ann Curtis 4, Nikki Miller 5, Kaylee 4.5, Gemma Brown 3, Annika 3.5, Helen's Bookhaven 4, Charlie Brooke 4, Emily 3.5, Leanne Peacock 5, Kimberly J Hall 4, Sheetal 4, Iona 3.5, Melanie Holmes 5, Sarah Deacon 4, Tara S 5, 4 from Jude, List of Lits, hi, 4.5, Jamie 5, Homegrown Education 3.5, God I'm getting a hand cramp, Laura Bentley 4, Claire Ellis 4, Rebecca Anderson 4, and Anne Shearing 4.5. Really high. Oh, Book Connoisseur 3.
Wow.
Really high ratings. I think where I've had my hand like this actual claw on the comments all night is making. I'm just seeing if there's any more coming in before I
tally them up.
Before I tally them up. I don't think there are.
Wow, a few 5s in there as well.
Yeah,
That's great.
really high. Okay, cool. Right, it doesn't look as though anything else. I missed out a 3.5 from Chocky Cake. Thank you. Oh, I don't know how I managed that. God, my hand is where I've been like this the whole night. Right, okay. I missed a couple.
Oh, no.
Who else did I miss then? I was literally reading them as they were coming in. If I go from Melanie Holmes' 5, then 3.5...
Do you want me to go through the list and read out?
No, it's fine. I think I've got it. Homegrown to 3.5. Yeah, I definitely got that one. I definitely got Homegrown Education. Oh, right, okay. Cool. Right, okay, so David's going to chat with you now, just while I add up the things. So just chat amongst yourselves.
Here we go. Does anybody want to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home?
But no spoilers.
But no spoilers unless people say no spoilers, but then, or just your general thoughts about it, because I blooming loved it. It was, it's one of the best Marvel films that I've seen. And yeah, it's so annoying because you don't want to say too much. Because, oh, no, Laura, no spoilers, that's fine. That's fine. So nobody spoil it for anyone. I would, have I got Lauren some good Christmas presents? Oh, I've got some wonderful presents. Thank you very much. See, somebody said love the jumper. Yeah, this is one of my tamer jumpers, I think. I've got a couple of louder ones, but I'm saving them for closer to Christmas. Oh, God, this is tough to talk and read, isn't it? All about the page. Yes, I can take her husband to see it. I would like. I think I will try and go and see it again. Yeah, maybe between Christmas or even just after New Year, because I think it will be in the cinemas for a while. I can't see it because I was just getting COVID. No, that's fair enough. I've never seen it, but my hubby's son and I are starting to watch the Marvel movies. We get ready to watch Infinity War. Amazing. Do you know anything, Rebecca? Do you know much about what happens already in like Infinity War and Endgame? If not, you're in for a real treat. Does it need to be seen on the big screen in the theatre? I would definitely say yes. If you can go and see it in the big screen, go and see it. Like, there's definitely loads of cool stuff that happens in it. I cried. Yeah, like when I went to see Endgame, I had a cinema because like, UK people don't react to us the same as they do in America, and but we had a pretty good one for Endgame, and there was a few cheers and stuff. But in the Spider-Man one, not as many. We had a few gasps and things like that, but no real round of applauses, which was a shame.
Last Christmas, but it's not. It's called Today Another Day.
Spider-Man book for Tuesday. Can't wait, Claire. You're gonna love it. Your jumper reminds me of the bear from His Dark Materials. Oh my God, it does. What's the name? What's the bear from Dark Materials?
Eric Burnson.
Oh, I like that. I like that bear. David, have you bought Lauren's random book yet? I have, but there's no hints whatsoever. But I definitely know. Oh, well, actually, there's 2 books this year.
Oh!
There is 2 books this year, and she hasn't got them. I'm not making that same mistake as I did last year.
You bought me one that I had already.
I bought one that she had already read, and she didn't even like it.
Can I have this back then?
Oh, did you have to wear your mask in the cinema? I did, and I think everyone around me, so you're encouraged to wear it, except when you're eating and drinking. So that is
encouraged.
Exactly,
you've got to. It's
sorry,
the law.
yeah, you've got to. Which is sorry.
You're encouraged if you like to stick to the law.
I think when I went, it wasn't the law. The law was coming in
a
couple of days, but I wanted to, and everyone in the cinema that I could see was doing the exact same, which was good, apart from when you was eating and drinking.
Dana said, what order would you recommend for someone that's never watched Marvel before? Release order or timeline order? I'd start getting into that.
Do you know what? If it's the first time, I would go for cinema order.
Like release order?
Yeah, release order.
Nice.
And then I think if you ever do it again, because I watched them all again in chronological order, but I feel like because I knew everything already, it kind of made a bit more sense. But I think you should go for cinema release order, because it's all fun.
And Emily's just asked about Ghostbusters. We did go to see it. I didn't think it was that good.
No, but you're not a huge fan. I feel like if you're a big fan of the first 2...
Watch the one with the women in. It's much better than all of the others.
The one of the women in is very good. I do like that. But this one, if you're looking for a pure nostalgia hit, it's very predictable. You know what's going to happen, but it's great. It's definitely worth it if you're a fan of the other 2. If you're not, I'm like maybe wait to see when it comes out on like TV or whatever. Any more movie questions?
Okay, right. So I've got overall, David, I've got to do the book club. You'll have to do your own movie club.
I have to do a movie club.
So overall, the book scored 3.65, which is 3.5 average. So it sort of gets plonked in the middle. I'm going to read backwards now from last place as to first place as to where we've got on with the books this year. So in last place, in 5th place, with 2.25 is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, which we read in February for modern love, I think the genre was there. Well done. In 4th place with 2.5 is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. I don't know what month we read that, but I think the genre that month was Japan, or Japanese authors. In 3rd place, joint 3rd place with 3 is Supper Club by Lara Williams, which we read in January. That was the first book we read this year, and that was food fiction, I think the genre for that. Then also joint 3rd is The Man in Tree Witches by A.K. Blakemore, which was in October for our witchy book club, and then More to the Story with 3.0. So those three are tied third by Henna Khan, and that was a Little Women retelling. So in joint second place, and there's 5 books here in joint second place with 3.5,
Wow.
including Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson. We've also got Detransition Baby by Tori Peters, and that was the book that we read because it was longlisted for the Women's Prize. That's actually one of my favourite books of the year, so I'm surprised it didn't score higher. Then we've got Don't Touch My Hair by Emma Dabry. We read that in March. That was part of the Irish authors genre. Then Plain Bad Heroines we read in by Emily M. Danforth. We read that in August, and that was part of the big books. We read really massive. I mean, look at the size of it. Where is it? Plain Bad Heroines, that yellow one at the end there.
Oh my
It's very big.
Christ.
Then Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson in December, and then Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar, which somebody's mentioned already. That was trans authors, so YA by trans authors was also second place with 3.5. So in joint first place, we've got 2 books in joint first place, and the first
Did you
one,
read out this one?
yeah, Felix Ever After.
No, and then the fact that Juno's.
Yeah, I said Juno as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Sorry. I was
And then in
well
joint-
done to all the joint seconds.
In joint first place is Bridget Jones's Diary, which we read in November by Helen Fielding. The genre or the theme for that month was Lauren's favourites, because it was my birthday month, so we read one of my favourites, which we've done the past few years and I quite enjoy doing. And then the other book that scored 3.75 was The Miseducation of Evie Epworth by Matson Taylor, and we read that in July as for the coming of age genre.
Wow.
So yeah, we've read loads of different books this year, and I am so delighted that Bridget Jones. Oh, we're running out of. There we go. Sorry, it went on. It says we've only got 20% left. So delighted that Bridget Jones scored so highly with you all, and that you all enjoyed it so much. And also, I know The Miseducation of Evie Epworth was really, really popular, and it's so nice when this little tiny book club that we've got with 42 members of us today, and not normally that much. Has made an effect on other people, because the author who wrote The Miseducation of Evie Epworth, Matson Taylor, got in touch with me. He'd been to a number of events over the summer, and people have been said that they'd read his book for my book club and how much they'd enjoyed it. So yeah, it's really, really lovely when that happens. So yeah, I think we've had an absolutely great year. Like, those are 12 banging books I really, really enjoyed, and very diverse, and really pleased that we all had such a great time. And like, even if I don't like the book, or even if people in the book club don't like the book, we still have such a great discussion. Like, I always have such a lovely time with it. So yeah, Detransition Baby is my book of the year too. I cannot wait to see what she comes out with next, says Jude. Gemma says, so happy with Evie Epworth, the author is so lovely. Nicola said, yeah, the top 2 were my favourites I've read for book club this year. Lovely. I absolutely loved Plain Bad Heroine, says Rebecca. Kimberly said, awesome, looking forward to 2022 as always. Sarah says, what a year, we read so many great books, I'll be back for another year for sure. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, and welcome back. Obviously we'll have you back every time. Betsy says, wonderful year of reading together. Yeah, really, really have had a lovely time with the reading together. Another thing I just wanted to say while we're here doing this as well, because I pick the genres and pick the themes, but if there's any sort of genres or themes that you would like me to consider going forward, I would love to do it. So I've got genres that we sort of repeat. So like I said, November last year we did my favourite books there. I always, because I join in with the Irish Readathon in March, I always tend to do an Irish authors in March, and there'll be some that I'm happy to repeat if you guys are. But if you've got any genres or themes that you'd like me to consider, please let me know, because I'll write them down now. And I haven't got, so normally I tell you guys what the theme is for the following month. So as I said, we've already decided that we're going to be reading Crimson or Last Night in Nuke by Niviaq Cornelissen for January, but normally I tell you what the genre's going to be, or the theme's going to be for the following month, but I just couldn't do it, could I, David? I was getting so stressed out doing it. So that will be up in the first week of January. You'll be able to go onto the Patreon feed and pick the book for February, but I don't have a genre for that yet. But let's have a look and let's see what else I've got. And I've got one more bit of news before we go as well. Detransition was one of the best books this year, and Supper Club has really stuck with me. Yeah, it has me too, and we read that in January. So yeah, book club has always been such a highlight of my year. Always such a lovely evening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody who joins in. I look forward to it every single month.
Do.
And I get so excited to chat, especially like I don't have many sort of like super bookish people in my life either, so it's really nice just to chat with you every time. So glad I joined in the last month. I cannot wait for 2022. Oh, Laura, thank you. Annika says, really enjoyed this in the last book club. Enjoyed being extra just for Christmas, but I'm going to continue with this next year. Mwah! Welcome, Annika. Christmas all year round for us. Louise said, I love that book club can make you read books you never normally would. Supper Club was that book for me. I wouldn't have read it, but I loved it. Oh, great. Sarah says, thank you, Lauren. Have loved being part of book club. And Betsy says, yay, Annika, for joining. This has really encouraged me to get back into reading. Oh, I'm so pleased. Charlie said, I really enjoyed book club this month. I'll definitely be back in January. Oh, that's lovely news. Jane says, thanks, Lauren. Hope you and David have a lovely Christmas. Whatever happens, hope to join in some book clubs in 2022 too. Yeah, we'd love to have you back, Jane. And Betsy's also hooray in Laura. Susanna said, I only managed to join in for 3 of those book clubs this year, but I've really enjoyed all of those. Jude says, I've only been able to join in since July when I changed my job, and I'm excited to experience a full year of reading with you. Betsy's sweeping everyone. Betsy's like the cheerleader. You can be book club cheerleader. Feminist February says all about the page. Lovely. I'm going to write these down. Not in red though, because I'll lose it on the page. I need it on another. I'll just write down feminist because it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to match the month or anything. Maybe we could do about another love and non-fiction theme, says Nikki. Yeah, absolutely, me too. Claire says, only joined at the end of this year and so nice to hear, to read so many different books and hear everyone's thoughts about them. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. Thriller, says Leanne. Historical fiction, says Laura Bentley. Oh yeah, historical fiction, I like that one, says Rebecca. Unconventional love for February. That's a great one, yeah. That's great. A book set in spring for spring or focusing on mums for Mother's Day in March. Let's have a look. So spring and mums, lovely. Book to movie.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd come along for that, David?
Oh, maybe. I don't know
Maybe.
what the movie is. If the movie's
Sarah
Back to the Future.
Waters. So like I have done it before where we've done one author. We've only ever done it. Oh no, I think maybe I've done it twice. No, it was, I've forgotten her name. Turn of the Key. Ruth Ware. 1 October, we had 2 books by Ruth Ware. So if people are happy for me to do like a sort of author spotlight, I'd be interested
cool.
in doing that. Autofiction. Oh, I don't know what autofiction is. I'll write it down and have a look into it. Never heard of that before. I suppose I need to update the spreadsheet of books now that the year is over for book club. I'll send that to you soon. Mwah. Dana's my lovely admin assistant, and she's done that. She's made the amazing. I will share it. I'll share it somewhere. I'll put it on the feed because she's happy for me to share it with people of all the books that we've read so far. So if you've only just joined and you'd like to read some of the books that I've mentioned this year or past years, then I'll share that on the feed. Maybe I'll do that as a little Christmas present for you all, and yeah, and you can have a look at that. Books in translation, yeah. Well, the first book we're reading next year is a book in translation, so that's exciting too. But yeah, I would definitely think I would love to be able to. I would love to read more books in translation. I just joined in November and wish I'd done it sooner. So looking forward to next month. Your YouTube channel is aces. Thank you, Kimberly. Maybe something by an Indigenous author. Absolutely. Let's put that down as well. Another long book theme. Yeah. So like I said, I'm quite happy to sort of repeat them because I think it's quite nice to sort of like look forward to it. And also when we read the long books, when we read that big massive book, the other one that was Daughters of the Night, it was in August when sort of people are on holidays and things like that, and it was just a nice time to be able to like get in with one book. So yeah, would love to do that again. Author spotlight. Oh great. Okay, so yeah, if you're happy for me to do an author spotlight, would love to consider that. Debuts, says Jamie. Yeah, that's a great thing. My 3 favourites have been by Transall for this year, so I'm happy to have a dedicated trans month or something to mark Pride. Yeah, I'll put that. Trans or Pride. Lovely. These are lovely. So maybe all of these won't get included this year, but I'll definitely bring some forward, or like I've said, we're going to probably do some repeats. But like these are all great ideas. Short story collections. Yeah, I'll write that down as well. Long books was a good one, says Sarah. Maybe a famous book you have always meant to read. There are books that I know I should have read but never will. That's a good idea. Yeah, so like another one I thought of but I hadn't do it was like hyped books.
Like should have read.
Famous books I haven't read. If people like the thought of hyped books, I'm happy to do that as well. Big book one as well. Yeah, lots of people liking that idea, Nicola. So that's great. Books set by authors from a country match in the month, e.g. February is Finland, M is Malaysia. Yeah, great. Yeah, so like countries. Hyped book sounds good. Oh, good. Okay, right. Okay, so that's great. If you've got any more, then just email me or message me on Instagram or anything, and I'll add them to the list. yeah, so I guess there's one more bit of news, which isn't very good news actually, and I feel like it's been hanging over me this whole time. I'll try not to get upset about it because I've already been upset already today.
Yeah.
But today was the last Vlogmas video, so I know I promised you guys 24 videos in December, and I wanted to tell you guys first before I told everyone else on Instagram. But I'm just not well enough to carry on. Not just sort of like I've been ill with a bug and now my period's here. Like I feel like my brain is just about to explode. And I'm also got a full-time job this week. As in, I'm in a full-time job anyway, but I'm in work every single day this week. And then there's just so much stuff that needs doing. I just wouldn't be able to deliver a video to you every morning at 6:30. And I've been stressing myself out over it. And the fact that I was ill for 3 days and was unable to do anything. I'm really, really, really sorry that Vlogmas has sort of come to an end. And there was part of me thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll just do one more video and maybe I'll try and squeeze this in. But I know that it's just going to be detrimental to me and my mental health. That I think it's just, we'll just call it a day now because it's been a struggle to get out the past 2 videos anyway. And that's not what Vlogmas is about. It's about fun and Christmas and everything. And I'd love to be able to sort of enjoy a bit of Christmas. I feel like I'm getting upset. But like I really would be able to sort of like enjoy this last week to Christmas. There's so much going on. And I feel so stressed anyway, like working in a hospital and hoping to be able to spend Christmas with my family and none of my family getting it and things like that. And I think maybe I just underestimated my ability to get everything done.
Exactly.
So I just laid on the sofa and had a complete cry earlier. Now, the reason I also wanted to mention it to you guys is because I know so many of you have sent me books from my wish list, which has been so wonderful and such a lovely thing and such a nice thing to receive, and people saying I'm so looking forward to Vlogmas and thank you so much for Vlogmas, and I feel like I'm really fucking shortchanging you with 19 videos when I promised you 24, especially when you've bought me gifts for it. So that's why I wanted to tell you guys first. But yeah, that's it really, isn't it? But I wanted to tell you guys first. So I feel like I feel really sad about it because I've always been able to manage it, but this year I just can't, and I just feel like I'm literally at breaking point. Yeah. David, would you mind getting me a glass of water? I feel like my voice is going. But yeah, let me have a look. You've all been saying nice things, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to read them out because you're all going to be so sweet. Oh, thank you. I can't read these out because I will cry. Thank you. This is so sweet of you all. You're all so lovely. Thank you.
Hold on, I don't know how long you've been there for.
Sorry, I think it might have paused while I was being emotional looking at your comments. You're all so sweet and thank you so much. I can't read those comments out because I literally will just cry. But yeah, I really appreciate your love and support and everything throughout the year. Like, I know this is a book club which is sort of paid for and you guys like tip me every month, but like I really do really appreciate all of you for being here for this book club because it couldn't run if it was just like me and one other. So the fact that there's 41 of you here today is just amazing, and thank you for being so lovely and supportive, and I knew you all would be. David sort of said to me like everyone will be fine. Exactly. And like I don't want it to be an ego thing with like so many people are going to be so disappointed, but like I just didn't want to let anyone down. Like, I know people really look forward to it, and so many people had said to me, oh, you're part of my Christmas tradition, and I thought, I'm ruining those people's Christmas traditions, but...
They could go back and watch years gone by.
That's true, but yeah, I'm just not well enough to do it, and yeah, I've got to drag myself into work this week, not feeling well enough as well, so to have something else on top of that isn't going to be happening. So yeah, I was considering doing another video, like me and David were going to do a Q&A or something, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So I'll be back in January after a lovely long rest, and like I'm really looking forward to that lovely long rest. And like one of the videos that I was planning on doing is all the films that I've watched this year and sort of doing like a knockout round of them, and that'll be going in January. And like, yeah, it just means that there'll be a few more videos in January, which is a good thing for everybody. And yeah, it'll be nice to have a rest away. So thank you so much, and thank you for making me cry happy tears. And I'm sorry to end this on like a bit of a sad note, but it doesn't feel like a sad note because you've all been so lovely. And yeah. Oh, and Judah said, oh God, I am gonna cry. Judah says, Vlogmas has been amazing, and what a lovely night to end on. Thank you both so much, and have an amazing Christmas together. Can't wait to hear your 2022 plans. We love you both. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys. And yeah, I think I probably will go because I'm just gonna cry. But yeah, it was so lovely to have you. Merry Christmas. And yeah, can't wait for January when we're gonna be talking about Crimson by Nivea Cornelissen. And yeah, I think we'll call it a day there.
We'll call it a day
I
there.
think maybe I need my dinner. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Lots of love to you all.